What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Week 6 edition of the Roto Bros Sports Fantasy Football Show. I'm your host, Todd Stender. Joining me, as always, my brother, Brad. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Hanging in there. We missed last week because I was sick. You were out the week before, so good to be back doing this.
Yeah, anxious to get the ball rolling here.
I know. How was your Week 5? Did you do okay?
No. It was my worst week of the year.
Yeah. I really, the solo pod I did Week 4, Week 4 was horrible, but I did okay last week, so.
See, I killed the first 4 weeks, and then last week I got absolutely fucking smashed.
Well.
You beat me by 60 in our head-to-head.
Yeah, so, you did real bad in cash. Yeah, real bad.
Yeah. I think you put up like 135 and still beat me by like 40.
Yeah, I think you had like 95. That's not great.
Pathetic.
That's not a great score.
Fucking pathetic.
Well, my big mistake was not getting on to Leonard Fournette. We knew that, I don't know how. And Melvin Gordon, that was another one. He was way too cheap at 6,000. How I played Todd Gurley against the Seahawks, I talked myself into that. I don't know. So, probably should have played Melvin Gordon, but what are you going to do?
Anyway.
Brian Hoyer week was good.
Life goes on. It's week 5. Let's hit the ball down.
This is a forward-thinking show. All right, so the first game, Week 6, I have Green Bay at Minnesota. So there's no line or total on this game yet because I guess we don't know who's playing quarterback for the Vikings. And there's also some injury news. There's also some injury concerns on the Packers, too. Starting with Green Bay, I know, so we'll look at the injury concerns first. Jordy Nelson and Ty Montgomery, I think they're both going to probably end up playing, but there was some talk of now this running back's Ty Montgomery was playing 90% of the snaps before last week, and now he's going to come back and be in a timeshare. What do you think?
90%'s over. That's over.
You think so?
Yep. Well, I'm staying away from him this week, at least until we figure out what's going on. It's way too much of a bankroll to risk on a guy who might be in timeshare.
Yeah, I don't think you can play him this week at all. It's, on the road in a tough matchup and not coming off an injury and not knowing if he's going to get his full workload back. So, yeah, no, I think that's right. What have you heard anything about Jordy's health?
He's going to play. Right, but I mean, either way, if he plays, he's going to have Xavier Rhodes on him. I'm kind of staying away from him this week.
Yeah, I don't want to play him either if he's out there, but I actually hope he's out there. That way we can play Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I hate when we're on the same page all the time. It's really annoying.
Well, that's the thing is if Jordy doesn't play, then we can't play Adams, who will see Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah, I did this thinking he was going to play.
Yeah, I think he's going to be out there, which means I really like Devontae Adams at 5,700. He's probably my favorite play from the Packers. So like we said, we can't really touch any of the running backs. Aaron Rodgers, he's only 7,200 or something. He's right in the middle of that group of quarterbacks. So I think he's going to go really overlooked. So you could probably get like the Rodgers to Devontae Adams stack like decently low owned.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't necessarily light up the Vikings defense. That's a really good defense. But I'm not playing Rodgers in cash, but I think he'll be really low owned in tournaments.
Yeah, you can definitely play him in tournaments. He's not a cash play.
I think Devontae Adams, if Jordy Nelson plays, is a cash play.
He's already in my cash team as of right now. I think he definitely is.
We're on the same play. All he does is catch touchdowns or drop them, but he gets all the blitz in the end zone.
He's not a huge dude, but he gets a lot of red zone looks. He's like sneaky, shifty down there like Chris Hogan.
Yeah. He's got a wide frame too. He's really good at boxing people out.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to Minnesota. Injury news here. Obviously, Dalvin Cook's out for the year. Stephon Diggs pulled a groin. Looks like he's going to be okay, or he's at least on track to play. But we got to keep an eye on that. Bradford played the first half on Monday, but was egregious. So I imagine they just play Case Keenum. What are your thoughts on the Vikings here?
We've talked about this a little off air. I think you can play Case Keenum. The Packers are actually not as bad against quarterbacks as you think. They're kind of middle of the road. Case Keenum, I don't feel great about starting him. You can at 5,000, whatever. Adam Thielen, I'm only playing if Diggs is out. 6 grand feels like a lot.
He's a lock to me if Diggs is out.
Yeah, if Diggs is out, I'm definitely playing
it's
him.
Like,
but I don't
like a cash play if Diggs is out.
I'm not sure I'm playing him if Diggs is out there. I think this offense is going to have a hard time moving the ball.
Case Keenum's a chucker, man. He'll chuck it. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he'll chuck it to the wrong team.
All right,
He's
so
bad.
What about Jerick McKinnon as like the highest owned player on the slate? What do you think of that?
I think there's a really high chance of that because I was going to say he's the only guy that I'm probably going to have.
Well, he's a free square in cash games. You just have to play him.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. You got to play him. At 4,100, he had like something crazy, like 25 touches last week. He outsnapped Murray. He got more carries. He got more receptions.
Yeah, I mean that could be a hot hand game flow thing. Like, I mean, I don't expect him to get 20.
Game flow. They were winning the whole game.
I don't expect him to get 25 carries. Is my point.
Well, neither do I. But I mean,
or 25. But anyway, yeah.
If he gets 15 touches at 4,100, I mean that's.
You don't need that much.
Plus, I mean, if you watch the Packers, if you're trying to watch Jack Ryan, fucking chase people around, he's the slowest linebacker in the league. He's not. We get crushed out by running backs out of the backfield.
Yeah, he's just a free square. You just take him in cash. But in tournaments, I like the idea of fading him because we've seen this before with Jerick McKinnon, where he's stepped into this lead role and just kind of shit the bed or done nothing or been horrible. Like we've seen this for like 4 years straight now. He's not
a big guy too, so he might swear down after that one heavy week.
But so I think in tournaments, I'd rather like play like a Keenum to Adam Thielen stack and then just fade McKinnon in tournaments completely. But that's it here for that game.
Yeah,
right?
It's not. I don't think it's going to be the highest scoring game. I probably won't.
Keenum, I think, is the pay down at quarterback in cash game option. If you want to pay down this week at quarterback, I think it's Case Keenum. He's at home against a beatable secondary. He's got good weapons. Like we played Brian Hoyer in cash last week. If you weren't a fish, so I mean, how is this any? He's no worse, right?
That's true. You could play Brian Hoyer this week too. Oh no, you can't. Washington's defense not that bad. Never mind.
I mean, no Josh Norman though.
That's true.
So I think, okay, so next game, Cleveland at Houston, 46.5 total. Houston favored by 10 here. Kevin Hogan getting the start for the Browns. Anything you see on the Browns? We don't have to spend a lot of time here, I think.
I mean, you can play Ricardo Lewis and if you're running out of money and you need to play a receiver. He's led the league team in receiving 2 weeks in a row. He's 3,900. That's like a doable play.
Yeah.
I think Houston lost 2 major pass rushers. I don't know what their pass rushers are look like. It's literally just Clowney this week, so it might not be. Hogan might not be under fire. He looked like okay last week. I mean, you could play. So I mean, you could play Duke Johnson. I think he's a little pricey for cash games.
No, you don't need him for cash with all the running back value this week.
Yeah, but in tournaments, so Houston is they lead the league in running back touchdowns allowed out of the backfield as far as receiving touchdowns, and that's what Duke Johnson does best. So I mean, in a tournament, I don't hate playing Duke Johnson.
No, I don't either. And they're going to be throwing. They're 10-point underdogs here on the road. They're going to be throwing a lot, so Duke could see some extra passing game volume. We don't expect him to get a lot of work on the ground, but.
We're both fading Crowell.
Right? Yeah, I wasn't even going to mention him. We don't. I think you're going to have to spend any time on him. So let's get to Houston. There's one of the most interesting teams on the slate, just from a game theory perspective. Aside from Jerick McKinnon, I think Deshaun Watson is going to be the second highest owned player on the entire slate, followed by DeAndre Hopkins. So I think
number one. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So in cash games, those guys are great plays, but in tournaments, I kind of like leveraging off of those guys and going to Lamar Miller, where if everyone's playing Hopkins and Watson and you play Lamar Miller, if he has a huge game, that might come slightly at the expense of those other guys and could give you a little edge there. But I love Watson and Hopkins as well. But Watson's price is up to 6,700, and he only threw like 18 passes or completed 16 passes last week. So that's kind of nerve-wracking when it's not much higher to get to Drew Brees.
Yeah, but he's still got that really high floor. He runs the ball. That's a terrible defense they're playing this week, and he's the number one fantasy QB since he's become a starter.
I wish he was like 6,200, but because 6,700, it's like I could probably find a way to get up to Breeze or Matt Ryan or someone like that, but I feel like are safer. But home against the Browns, I mean, they might get out to a huge lead and just run the ball, so that's blowout risk.
But if they get out to a huge lead, it says Watson already got you 20 points in the first half.
What about your UConn boy Ryan Griffin? What are you doing there?
I mean, you could play him.
It's 4,000 though. That's kind of a lot, right?
Tight end is so weirdly priced this week. He's like a guy you could play in a tournament, but he's not like who I'm going to be targeted.
Yeah, people are going to play him in cash because the Browns have given up a tight end touchdown basically every week this year.
Yeah, you could, but
paying 4,000.
There's other guys in that price range that I just like more. I'd rather. We'll get to that later.
Paying 4,000 for Ryan Griffin is not something I'm trying to do.
Yeah, no, I think Hopkins is like an absolute must this week. Hopkins is a 37% target share so far.
Yeah, no, Hopkins is easy. Yeah,
highest in the league by far. He's a monster.
Yep, I agree.
Also, the Browns are the fourth worst in yards per attempt. Or I'm sorry, yeah, in yards per attempt. So what Hopkins does best is high point deep balls, right? He's not a yards after the catch guy. So if you have Watson chucking it down the field, Hopkins is going to go up and get it, and that's where the Browns have been weak this year.
Yeah,
I just think it's a great matchup.
Yeah, no, it is. All right, let's just move on. We didn't spend too much time on the Browns. The next game I have is the highest total of the week: Detroit at New Orleans. We're at 50 points. New Orleans favored by 5.5. I'll start with Detroit. Not a lot. Like, we like the game and the total and the environment, but not a lot I like for individual plays. I think I like Matthew.
I hate everyone.
Right. You're probably right. I don't like. I think you could look at Matthew Stafford in cash if you wanted to, but you could just find a 200 to get to Watson. So there's really no reason to do that. Eric Ebron, he's dead to me. He's terrible. I have no desire to play him. Abdullah, not really a cash game option on this slate with all the value we have. Golden Tate is just overpriced for what he does, I think.
He's super overpriced, but that's what makes him a sneaky tournament play.
Yeah, I agree. You could if you're stacking this game for tournaments, you definitely want to have some Golden Tate. But I'd rather have Marvin Jones, to be honest. He's only 4,600, so he seems like the best play for the Lions pass catchers.
You could even play Galladay. The Saints against third receivers.
Is he healthy?
Well, he practiced today, so if he is healthy at 4,000, like, I think he is really interesting because he's the go-to red zone guy, and the Saints have gotten torched by third receivers this whole season.
And yeah, if this game because it turns out this Marshawn Lattimore kid is kind of good, so they have like a better secondary than they've had in years past. On the Saints, which other running backs are you playing?
In cash, I'm playing Ingram. In tournaments, I'm playing Kamara because I think Ingram. I mean, it makes no sense that Ingram is cheaper than Kamara. That makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah.
So Ingram every week for the last 4 weeks, his touches have gone up, right? So Mark Ingram's going to get the volume. I think Adrian Peterson being out benefits him more than Kamara, right? Because the Peterson vulture factor is now gone. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and it's going to be an extra three carries in one or two targets a game. Ingram got 8 targets anyway. It's not like Kamara gets all the pass work.
No, it's exactly, and he's cheaper than Kamara. So for me, Ingram is the cash play, but I think he'll be kind of high owned in tournaments. So I'm going Kamara.
Everyone loves Kamara. I kind of get the feeling he's going to be higher owned. I don't know. I'm leaning Ingram too, but I think they're both.
That seems illogical though that he's higher owned. Like, I get that that's like the media hype, but that seems so illogical.
Yeah.
I don't think sharp DFS players are gonna play Kamara.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ingram in the tournament.
No, I think you're probably right. Okay, so Drew Brees is probably like the top raw points quarterback on the slate. Michael Thomas, I think he actually is the best tournament play in this game because I don't think people are gonna play him because. Like,
he's been quiet.
They overrate that, and we kind of overrate Darius Slay. Like, he's good, he's really good, but he's not Patrick Peterson or Jalen Ramsey. Like, he's yeah. I had to throw that in there, but he's good, but he's not those guys, right? He's not just locking down everyone that he touches. So I kind of think he might go underlooked a little here, and people might kind of lean up. Actually, I don't think there's going to be a lot of ownership on any of these pass catchers. It's really going to be a lot of people wanting to play the running backs because Willie Snead's just coming back from suspension, then they had to buy whatever. So people. Yeah,
I don't want any Snead, and he's questionable. He's got some weird injury.
We're going to forget about him. I actually think he's a decent play. And then Ted Ginn, nobody plays him.
No,
but you can play him in a 50 total game in a dome. I mean, I'm down.
Yeah.
All right. No defenses from this game, right?
Nope.
All right, so next I have Miami at Atlanta, 47 total. Atlanta favored by 11.5 here. We'll start with Miami. The one thing I have for news and notes, Devontae Parker kind of banged up, so we have to keep an eye on that. And if he's out, we can look to Kenny Stills in the tournament at 4,200 if Devontae Parker's out. He's a deep threat. Jay Cutler's been horrible, but that's my take on the Dolphins. That's all I got. Do you have anything else?
The Dolphins? No, they're fucking horrible. Yeah. I think how horrible they are makes me like Atlanta a lot more, though. So if we're talking about it, I'm gonna gloss over that and go right to Atlanta. I love Matt Ryan this week. So at least in tournament play. So Matt Ryan, I think, is gonna be a little underowned. People are kind of sleeping on him, right? He was awful for the first 4 weeks of the season. QB 21 through 4 weeks. Like it was ridiculous, especially considering where people thought he would be. Julio's going to be back and healthy this year. I think Sanu's still going to be out, but I mean, Julio and Gabriel will be there. They'll have both running backs. I think they score a lot of points with short fields because Jay Cutler's fucking horrific.
Yeah.
I think this is the get right game for Atlanta. I really do.
Right. That's actually a concern of mine is that they're favored by 11.5 here. I'm worried that they're just going to get up really early and then Ryan's not going to throw enough. Julio's not going to get – they're going to limit
Did you watch the Super Bowl? They're going to keep throwing.
They're going to limit Julio's snaps in the second half. So I'm a little nervous about that, but they're good. They're really good tournament plays. I think the best play here is Devontae Freeman because historically he's done really, really well as a large home favorite, and they're favored by 11.5 here, which sets up to be a lot of running in the second half, just running out the clock. Not that I know they didn't do that in the Super Bowl or whatever. We can make that joke again, but Kyle Shanahan's gone, so whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it feels like a really good Devontae Freeman game, and no one's going to play him with Hunt and Fournette and Gurley and Melvin Gordon and like these guys all in that same range. So it's a really, really good leverage play to look at Freeman. And, I think actually in a game where they're projected to score like 29 points here, Tevin Coleman this feels like a spot he can just go nuts in. Coming off a bye, they're going to be up. He might get, I never play this guy, but if they're up by 3 touchdowns, he might get some extended run and he's always a threat to break one on this turf. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that any week though. He's $5,000. I just think it's a little too pricey for a guy who I don't know isn't going to get.
Well, no, yeah, you don't know. It's a deep tournament team. If you're playing 100, if you're playing 100 lineups, like throw them on 5% or 2%.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. If you want to take a dart throw and chuck it at him, but
yeah, that's really what that was. I mean, it's not a core play, remotely a core play, but just like a tournament dart. I kind of like it. I think this could be one of those weird games where he goes off. All right. I have the Patriots at the Jets, 47.5 total. New England favored by 9.5, which feels too low. I tried to get our buddy to lay 20 points to me for the Patriots today. He didn't bite, but I think he might before Sunday, so I'm going to try that.
Yeah, there's a good chance he does. He's a homer.
Yeah, what do you think about the Patriots? Who do you like?
Well, I mean, it depends, right? So I mean, I think you can play Hogan in cash. Hogan's $7,000. He leads the team in receptions, targets, and touchdowns, right? A Tom Brady receiver who leads the team in all those categories, and the $7,000 seems like a decent buy for me. Amendola, I'm kind of fading a little bit. He's been less productive when Gronk plays. It looks like Gronk is going to play. I can't. The thing with Brandon Cooks should play in the tournament. The thing about Brandon Cooks is I don't know what is the week where he's going to be the guy who breaks one, right? He leads the team in yards, but
I'd rather play Hogan at less money.
So would I, exactly. So I mean, Cooks is definitely way more of a tournament play.
Yeah. What do you think of Gillislee or the running back situation?
I'm kind of staying away this week. There's just so much value that I don't want to take the risk of the Patriot running backs.
I just again, I like to look at Vegas totals and point spreads and things like Patriots. LeGarrette Blount's absolutely smashed in these spots last year. Like big favorites against bad teams. Like these are the games that he absolutely smashed in, where he got 18 carries in the second half and scored 3 touchdowns. Like those games are going to happen for his role in the Patriots offense. So you just have to figure out when, and this could be that spot.
If you think that's when it's coming, then this is the buy, right?
The Patriots defense is horrible, but the Jets defense is equally horrible, and they're going to be without Bilal Powell. I like what are we worried about? I mean, the defense is bad. Obviously, they've been bad, but if there's a get right spot for them, it's this team.
I mean, I don't think there is a get right spot for that defense, but are we starting Eli McGuire? Now, since you mentioned Powell's out?
If Powell's going to be out, you can start him, but I'd rather play McKinnon, both Saints guys, before him.
Me too. That's how I feel too.
So I mean, he's a good play, but he's probably 4th on the list.
I think you could play McCown this week at 5,200. I know you like.
Yeah, I'd rather play Keenum, but
I don't know about that. New England has gotten lit up by everyone, they're going to be up big.
Yeah, they have. No, I just like I'd rather play Keenum just because they have weapons. He has weapons.
What about Austin Seferian-Jenkins, man? You don't think he's a weapon?
Is that the guy that Belichick's going to take away? Scheme to take away Drunk Austin Safarian-Jenkins.
Probably, dude. He's looked really good this year. I think he's good at football.
He was terrible last week. Bailed us out with a touchdown. Thank God I had him. All right, so I'm not playing Austin Safarian-Jenkins though at 4,300.
Well, neither am I because I was excited to play him, and then I looked and saw he was like the 4th most expensive tight end.
Yeah, forget that.
How the fuck did that happen?
I don't know. All right, moving on. Bears at the Ravens, 39.5 total. Baltimore's favored by 6.5. The only thing I want to say about the Bears is
Don't play Tariq Cohen. Time to bury him.
No, he's done. Yeah, you can't play him ever again.
Bury him?
Since they got Benny Cunningham back, Evan Silva tweeted today that his snaps and touches have gone down every week since Benny Cunningham came back. So we can just kind of ignore him. The only play on the Bears is Zach Miller. He's only 2,900, and he got 8 targets last week. He's had 8 targets twice. And, rookie QBs tend to lean on their tight ends. He's definitely their best pass catcher for whatever that's worth. So, but at 2,900, you don't really need a lot. You need 4 catches for 36 yards, and maybe he scores a touchdown.
Yeah, I would like it more if you knew they were going to get pumped. But
I'm playing him in cash at that price. I mean, 2,900. What I don't really see any other options.
No, you're right. I mean, I don't really think there's a tight end that's worth paying up for this week. So
yeah, Gronk's hurt. Ertz isn't on the slate.
Reed has the number one.
Jordan Reed, we'll get to him, but he's an awesome tournament play. But we'll get there. All right, nothing on the Bears besides Miller for me. Nothing for you either, right?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Okay. Ravens. You like anything on the Ravens?
I mean, you could play Buck Allen. I think he's a little overpriced based on last week. So last week he had like 25 carries. And
what is he, like 5,200 or something like that?
54. Yeah,
I'd rather play Lamar Miller. Not even close.
I'd rather play Mark Ingram. I mean, I don't. First of all, the only reason he got the goal line work is because Alex Collins fumbled. So Alex Collins is going to get that roll back again. I'm staying away from him. I just think a lot of people are going to play him, so I just have to get it out there.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that's a trap. I think Mike Wallace is a good tournament play. He looks like he's coming alive.
He's the only one I have on my list. Mike Wallace, believe it or not, has been a top 24 PPR wide receiver every year of his career, but one with the one Minnesota year. So I mean, I like Mike Wallace. He had 2 catches for like 103 yards last week. Like that's just what he brings. And the Bears schemes to take away number 1 receivers, and he's technically the number 2. So their scheme should be shaded towards Jeremy Maclin. So they might give Mike Wallace some run against a weak number 2 corner, and he's still fast. He's still one of the 3 or 4 fastest runners.
Yeah,
in the league,
at that price, he could catch a 50-yard touchdown and win you some money.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm not a core play, but it's the only thing I really see on the Ravens.
Yep, okay. I agree.
49ers at the Redskins, 46.5 total. Washington favored by 10 here. So sorry if you missed out on Brian Hoyer week last week. I had him in cash.
I missed out on Brian Hoyer week.
Yeah. Josh Norman's out. So what do you think of Pierre Garçon?
I mean, I like Pierre Garçon. I think Bashaud Breeland's actually pretty good. I mean,
he doesn't shadow though. They can easily get Pierre Garçon away. They're not going to shadow. Breeland's not a shadow corner. I mean, he never has been anyway. Maybe he will without Norman, but I'd be surprised.
Yeah, so I mean, Garçon's a target monster, right? And I think the point of this game is that Washington is going to move the ball on San Francisco. They're going to have to throw.
Revenge game. They didn't want to sign him.
That's a good point too. Yeah, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm on board.
He's got double digit targets in 3 of 5 games.
What's his cost again? I don't have it written down.
I think it's like $6K.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Have him or Adams?
Would you rather have Garçon or Adam Thielen?
Is Diggs playing?
No.
Thielen.
Okay. It changes if Diggs plays. You'd rather have Garçon?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have Garçon for cash with his catch floor, but I'd rather have Thielen for tournaments. He just has so much upside. Even with Diggs.
I think Thielen has a good catch floor too. Thielen's the only guy with 5 catches through like every week.
But he can put up 5 for 160 and 2 touchdowns. Like he's done it like 4 times in the last year and a half. It's like crazy.
Yeah, he's really good.
All right, what do you like on Washington?
We talked about Jordan Reed quickly. Jordan Reed is, I think, a heavy cash play tournament play this week. San Francisco is sneaky good against tight ends. They're number 1 against tight ends, which shocked me.
That could be matchup, though. They haven't played any. I mean, they played Indianapolis without Jack Doyle. They played Greg Olsen-less for Cam Newton.
Dude, Ed Ditson, bro.
Yeah.
Disrespect.
Forget it. But anyway, so I'm not buying that. This defense is pretty beatable, and Jordan Reed is really good.
Yeah, I mean, he's a matchup-proof guy anyway.
And he should be healthy. He played the last game, but it was very limited. But now he's, they had the bye week, so I like Jordan. People might forget about him. It might make him go underlooked or overlooked, whatever, because he had the week off and was kind of injured for a few weeks.
Yeah, and if you can't find a receiver you like, he might be someone you could even think about in cash and then just play a cheap running back in your flats.
Well, yeah, if you want to play like two of Ingram and McKinnon, like you want to play both. You could probably maybe free up some money to pay up a little at tight end. I like that. All right, Jamison Crowder's only 4K. He's been terrible, but I guess you could do that. The 49ers defense is terrible. We saw Jacoby Brissett and T.Y. Hilton light them up last week. I think Kirk Cousins here is really interesting at his price because nobody's going to play him with Deshaun Watson $100 less.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I think he's an interesting tournament play. I'm still playing Watson in cash.
Yeah, no, I agree. Watson's the cash play, but Cousins always has massive upside, and you'll get him at no ownership. So.
And I think Rob Kelly's going to be out, right? So I mean, Samaje Perine's not good, so I don't think he's going to be able to run the ball.
I know. What do you think of Chris Thompson then?
I think he had 3 touchdowns in 3 years and then 3 in 2 weeks, so I'm off him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm off him too. I'm not playing him. Plus, the only season-long league that I pay attention to, I'm facing him this week, so he's definitely going for 3 touchdowns. So we should probably play him.
We should play him.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got for.
What about the San Francisco tight end? What about Kittle?
No.
Not buying it?
No, I like him, but his price is way up. It's like 4K now.
It's 34.
Oh, all right. Exactly.
Thinkable, right? It's something you think about.
I don't know. I feel like that was an outlier game.
It might be. I was reading the San Francisco beat writer stuff on him today, and I guess going back to training camp. This is beat writers.
He's good. I think he's good.
Yeah, they think he's good. So it's something that I would definitely think about.
Yeah, you can definitely go. You can look at.
This is tight ends are so weirdly priced this week. Like I'd rather play him than Martellus Bennett. Martellus Bennett's $400 more bucks.
I had a really really hard time with tight end this week. I think my tight end player pool is going to be limited to Jordan Reed and Zach Miller, and that's all I'm playing.
I kind of like Kittle.
And maybe some Gronk.
Washington's really bad against tight ends too.
Okay, good. All right, you talked me into George Kittle. The Sunday morning Roto-Grinder show. This guy was talking everyone into George Kittle, and then the founder of Roto-Grinders won the Millionaire Maker that day because of George Kittle.
Yeah, of course.
So that's how life works.
Yeah,
so play George Kittle, win $1 million. That's
the world. Washington 30th against tight ends. I just looked it up.
Yeah, their defense is bad. Okay, Tampa Bay at Arizona, 44.5 total. Tampa Bay favored by 1.5. Look at Tampa Bay first. So the Cardinals' pass defense, I think, is overrated because of how good Patrick Peterson is, but I think as a whole, obviously Tyrann Mathieu is really good too, but Justin Bethel on the other side is just fucking terrible.
Yeah, he sucks. This is a big Deshaun Jackson game.
And that was my question was, I think he's going to get talked up throughout the week and end up kind of being a popular play where, like, we're not going to really want him, where he's a guy you want if he's going to be really low owned, but he's too volatile to play if he's going to be heavily owned, which I think this spot might become kind of trendy as the week goes on.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who plays in Justin Bethel gets topped up in daily. Like it's been a weekly thing. I can't remember who it was last week, but this happens every week. Torrey
Smith and Aguilar both torched him for touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, he's bad. I'm fading Mike Evans because I fade everyone who Patrick Peterson covers.
I agree. He can still catch a jump ball in the end zone, but I don't think he has like big upside.
Well, Peterson's given up 2 touchdowns this year through the 5 games, but no one has over 50 yards.
I mean, you know who hasn't given up a touchdown? Jalen Ramsey. I guess he's better than Patrick Peterson. That's how that works.
All right, yeah, that's how that works. Anybody else on Tampa Bay we care about? We don't care about the running backs, right?
No. Doug Martin actually looks pretty good, but this isn't the right matchup.
Well, it's not the right matchup, and it's just not the right week with the prices.
Yeah, we don't need him this week, but he does look good. He looked explosive in the preseason. He looks healthy and explosive last week. Like there's going to be a week soon where we're going to play Doug Martin. This just isn't it.
It's coming.
Yeah. All right, Arizona. Anything on Arizona?
Yeah, a lot. The Tampa Bay defense is fucking horrible. Everyone's
the Patriots only scored 16 points on them.
That was a Thursday night game.
I know.
Thursday night game, you throw it out. Those games don't count. Carson Palmer leads the league in attempts this year. They cannot run the ball at all. Even
they
if
got Adrian Peterson. What do you mean?
Who cares? He's going to run into the line of scrimmage and fall down.
No, I know.
Carson Palmer at 6,100 is really interesting. I feel like he has a high floor.
But who do you pair him with?
Barry Fitz.
We're getting into old man can't play the old guy anymore. He's cliff time is coming for him. I don't know.
Yeah, it's coming. I don't know if it's coming in this matchup though.
Last week I was on Andre Ellington. I wasn't on him in the beginning of the week. I ended up getting on to him Sunday and played him in cash, and he did fine. I just think he could get double-digit targets again here. But he's up to 5,200 or something now. So are you in on Andre Ellington or no?
No, there's just too many more guys. This is a weird running back week. I'm like stitching this.
Yeah, I like this offense because Carson Palmer throws so much, but I just don't like any of his.
You don't like the guy they throw the ball to the most?
Andre Ellington's the guy they throw the ball to the most.
It's one game.
In the last 4 games.
No.
Yes.
No.
Maybe. I don't know. He's up there. He's got double-digit targets twice and 8 or 9 in the other one. So he's been just getting a ton of targets. And I don't want to play John Brown. I don't want to play J.G. Nelson. I'm not playing old man Fitz. If I'm playing Carson Palmer, I'm going to have Andre Ellington on those teams, but only if
I'm playing Carson Palmer, I'm doing it in a tournament, and I'm playing Larry Fitzgerald with him, because the only guy who's getting 100 fucking yards on that team is Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. No, it's not awful. I just don't like to play old guys. It's goes against my
Yeah,
brand.
we're definitely getting to the point where
what's the combined age between Palmer and Fitz? 79 years old, literally? 79 years old?
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I think that's everything. No tight ends in this game. Are we playing Cameron Brate?
You can.
What's he, 39?
38.
Is he 3,900?
38. That's a decent price. He's caught a touchdown in 3 straight games.
He's good.
Yeah, he's very good. He wasn't great last week till he caught that garbage time touchdown, which...
He should have had 2. I don't know if you saw. He should have had 2.
Yeah, yep. He saved my ass last week big time. So I like Cameron Brate every week. He's just his touchdown equity is just so high. Okay. Moving on. Rams at the Jags. 42.5 total.
These running backs I love these running backs.
Yeah, so they're the only play. The running backs and the defenses are the only plays in this game, as far as I'm concerned. So which ones do you like better?
So we talked about this off air, and you kind of talked me into Fournette, which makes. Fournette is. I'm convinced Leonard Fournette is the third best running back in football. He's a man amongst boys out there. He just throws people into the ground. It's the fucking most beautiful thing.
Taunt that guy when he was running to the end zone, bring him. Yeah, try to tackle him.
I love him. I love him so much. You have no idea. He's also on my season long team. Leonard Fournette is an absolute monster. I've been a Todd Gurley shooter for years too. I have no problem playing either of these guys. Cash tournaments doesn't matter. The Jaguars are 31st against the run. The way to attack them is running the ball.
Rams are 32nd.
Yeah, I was just going to get to that. Yeah, the Rams are 37 against the run. So this is just a great matchup. If running backs weren't so cheap, I would just pay down a wide receiver and play both these guys. I think they're both going fucking bananas.
I know. That's the thing is we have Kareem Hunt too in the last game, who I think is also in an amazing spot. So I
hate everything. I don't know what to do. I hate all of it.
It's really rough. Between Gurley and Fournette, I'm leaning Fournette because he's at home. He's favored. He has the better matchup. They're more likely to win the game. Their defense is much, much, much better. The Jags defense, so they're more likely to have good field position. Maybe get a defensive touchdown, get out in front. I think all that stuff just leads to favorable script for Fournette.
Yeah, and
Tavon Austin had 8 carries last week. And,
that was Seattle though. You got to be tricky with them.
What's the backup's name? Marlon Brown or some shit. He had a bunch of passing down work, so I'm a little nervous that they might try to limit his role a little bit more, and that little bit might make all the difference.
He had 23 carries and 6 catches.
I know, but
he had 29 touches last week. Though.
But they gave 8 carries to Tavon Austin.
That's no, I know that, but they were playing Seattle. Seattle smacks everyone at the line of scrimmage. They were running Gurley right into the line. I think that's just a bit of an outlier, right? It's not the same thing as playing. It's not the same thing as playing the Jags.
So the only thing is Gurley might be lower owned in tournaments because of all the things I just said that Fournette might be a better play, and Gurley coming off a dud off a week where he killed literally everyone, including me. So
I just think it's close.
it's very close. I think I'm slightly leaning Fournette, but maybe with the $500 savings to Gurley.
It's only 300. That's why I'm leaning for net. That's how you talk.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is only 300.
But if I need $200 for something, and I think that $200 is going to make a huge difference for me, I don't have a problem downgrading for net.
If I can get to the Jags D, they're who I'm playing. They're at home. They have like 15 turnovers already. 21
All they do
sacks.
is score touchdowns.
And even if the touchdowns, even if they don't score the touchdowns, like obviously you can't expect 2 defensive touchdowns every week, even though they've done it twice already.
Yeah, nice.
But even if they don't score the touchdowns, they have 15 turnovers and 21 sacks. Like so, those are just massively generating points. And the Rams' offense is not going to light them up, no matter what. I know it's a good run matchup for Gurley, but they're not going to be able to pass the ball. Jared Goff is not, with those shitty wide receivers, is not going to be able to pass the ball on this team.
Yeah, no. I mean, I agree. I would expect it to look. I think it's going to look a lot like that Seattle game. I don't think it's going to be crazy high scoring. I think it's something like 21-17.
I like the Rams defense, like in a vacuum, but I don't like to play road defenses in general, especially road underdogs. So I don't think I'll play.
Well, and Bortles, you can't play against Bortles like you used to because they don't throw 40 times a game, right? It's different when Bortles is.
But if the game's competitive, he's going to have to throw more. But that's like last week, he threw 14 times because they were up 3 touchdowns before they even had the ball. So
it's true.
Yeah. All right. Chargers at the Raiders. We have no total in this game because we're waiting on Derek Carr news, but it sounds like he's going to play. Chargers finally got their first win. What's your thoughts on them?
I mean, so Rivers is 6,800. You can play Rivers in a tournament. He's in that same price range as Watson. I think he's going to be lowly owned. There's this weird misconception that the Raiders have a good defense. I don't understand where that comes from. It's got to be Khalil Mack. The defense sucks.
Yeah, I think he is really good, so he gives the
They're really bad against tight ends too. I kind of like the Rivers Hunter Henry play. Like you could do that. I feel good about that.
Henry's low owned. He'll be low owned. He's 4,100 now. So
yeah. I feel kind of good about that. Melvin Gordon's obviously a lock. Was he 7,600? I mean, I'd rather play Gurley than Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, Gurley, Fournette, Hunt. I'd rather play all those guys than Melvin Gordon. But Gordon was 6,000 last week. He goes absolutely ham, and now he's 8,000, or 7,800. How does that happen?
Because life is bad.
Yeah.
Who else anyone else on the Chargers? I mean, you could probably dart throw the receivers.
I like Tyrell quite a bit. This team sucks, and I don't want to pay almost 8. Keenan Allen is 7,800, and
I don't want to pay for him when I could get Hopkins for $400 more bucks.
No, that's my point. I don't like Keenan Allen, but we still want to attack this Raiders secondary. It's not good, so that kind of leads me to Tyrell. So he might be somewhere that I look to go in tournaments. He's got upside. He can score long touchdowns.
I buy that.
But
what do you think?
That's it.
All right, if we're talking Raiders, what do you think about Amari Cooper in a tournament?
Well, he's only 5,000, and if you're gonna, so I'll only be looking at him on teams where I'm stacking the Chargers because this game, if Carr plays, this game should and could shoot out, and if that happens, then you have to play. If you're playing Chargers, you have to play someone from the other side, assuming both, because if it's going to shoot out, both teams are going to score.
Right.
So I'd like Cooper, and nobody's going to own him. He's going to combine 23 yards in his last 3 games.
He's been horrific, but we can agree that Amari Cooper's a talented player, right? He's going to snap out of it.
Well, yeah, it's kind of weird circumstances. Like the first game against the Redskins, that Sunday night game, the whole offense was horrible. Derek Carr threw for 108 yards, and then one of the games was like half EJ Manuel and then an EJ Manuel game. So you can kind of explain away these 3 horrible games. I mean, they're obviously really, really horrible, but the guy's put up over 1,000 yards in both years he's been in the league. Like, he's a talented dude. So you can definitely play him at $5,000.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Yep, me too. All right, last game of the day. I guess this is the day because they cut the Sunday night game from the main slate still.
Yeah, it's lame.
I know. All right, so looking at Pittsburgh at Kansas City, 45.5 total. Kansas City favored by 5. Looking at the Steelers first, Le'Veon Bell is 9,600.
I just don't think this is the week.
No, I don't think he with if you're gonna pay up at running back, you don't need to go all the way up to him. When we talked about Gurley and Fournette, and then you have Hunt on the other side of this game, who are significantly less and in better or as good of spots.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like all three of them more than him.
Yeah, I do too. At least like when you're talking like point per dollar and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So Big Ben threw 5 picks and was horrible last week, and Antonio Brown still at 160 yards.
Yeah, and it's a good matchup for him. I mean, Antonio Brown is a monster.
Marcus Peters doesn't shadow either. He stays on his one side, and he's no Jalen Ramsey either, so we don't have to like shy away from Antonio Brown.
And he had 19 targets last week. Ben is just staring him down.
Ben threw 55 times. I don't expect that to happen again, but he's probably still going to throw 45 times.
Yeah, what's he get? So he gets 12 targets instead of 19.
Yeah, I agree. But Ben was horrible, and now he's on the road where we don't like to play him in general.
Yeah, no Ben.
Antonio
Brown with the Steelers.
Yeah, you can play. I wouldn't hate throwing Ben out there with Antonio Brown. I mean, if he throws 302 touchdowns, even if he throws a couple of picks, I mean, I don't know. It's a deep tournament play, at least with Ben. But Brown's a really good play.
Yep, I agree. You got anyone else in this team? I just had Amari Cooper and Brown and Bell.
Amari Cooper's not in this game.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Yep. No, Brown and Bell Bell's a really good play in a vacuum, but I just don't think we need to pay all the way up for him, which might make him really, really low owned in tournaments. If you're going to pay down for like a Case Keenum, maybe you can throw Le'Veon Bell on that team. That would be really interesting roster construction. If not, I don't think people, just talking roster construction for this week, I don't think people are going to pay down at quarterback. It's really, there's not a lot of cheap options outside of Keenum, Hoyer, McCown. Like, nobody's getting excited to play these guys, right? Anybody you like a quarterback under 6,000 aside from the 3 I just mentioned?
No, it's horrible. It's a horrible week.
That's my point, is that if people are paying up for Breeze and for Ryan and for Rodgers and Stafford and Watson, then you're not going to see a lot of ownership on Le'Veon Bell, and he's still a great play.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think we need to beat the horse on this anymore, right?
Yeah.
What do we think about Tyreek Hill?
Is Travis Kelce's banged up, so that might lead to some extra volume for him. What is really nice here is Ben. So Ben was awful last week. Picks, sacks, turnovers, crazy. So you play the Chiefs defense with Tyreek Hill. Get that double dip. He returns that touchdown. He returns that punt for a touchdown. You get the double dip. The Chiefs get a pick 6. That's 2 touchdowns and one for Tyreek too. That's nice.
I like that. That's pretty sneaky. I like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But gotta keep an eye on Travis Kelce. He's a good play if he
plays.
but he's expensive.
Yep.
I think Kareem Hunt is the top running back on the slate point per dollar. Like, he's probably where I'm going in cash.
I mean, he's a monster.
I don't know. I have to decide between Hunt and Fournette. That's where I'm at. Which one of those guys? Originally, I had both, but I'm trying to get up to Deshaun Watson for cash. So I don't know how I'm going to end up. But I love Kareem Hunt. For me, it's Hunt, Fournette, and Gurley in that order.
Yeah, I mean, it's close. I'm probably going Fournette first, but I'm with you. We're on the same page. Those are the 3 top guys.
All right. So that's going to do it for the games. You have a bold call for me?
I do. So Matt Ryan has been awful. Matt Ryan isn't it right. He's going to be the number 1 quarterback this week.
Is the reigning MVP coming off one of the best offensive seasons ever? Is that a bold call?
Yes, because
he's at home, favored by 11.
He's been awful since the second half of the Super Bowl. He's been awful for 5 games in a row.
All right, so prop bet. You take Matt Ryan. I take Brady and Drew Brees. High score wins.
Fine.
So not combined, obviously. I got 2 quarterbacks versus your Matt Ryan.
I'm with you. Let's do it.
All right. And my bold call is that the top quarterback and wide receiver stack of the week from a point per dollar perspective is Case Keenum and Adam Thielen.
I kind of like that. That's good.
Yeah. So the top point per dollar
stack this week.
I know Green Bay is always going to score. So the other team is always going to be. Case Keenum kind of can thrive in these shootout games. Like he's not a great NFL quarterback, but he can chuck the ball and like make big plays. And I really like Diggs and Thielen against this shitty Packers secondary. I know they've been better, but it's a home game for Minnesota. They're going to throw Keenum out there, I think. So Keenum, Thielen, number 1 point per dollar stack of the week.
Yeah, no, I like that. I can see that.
All right, so that's going to do it for the Week 6 show. Follow us on Twitter. Our handles are right below here. Like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel.
Win some money, win some free money.
Yeah, win some money. Let us know if you do. Find us on Twitter if you have any more questions.
Tweet at me and tell me how dumb I am.
I know, yeah, you guys can, after Case Keenum throws 4 picks and gets benched, you can tweet at me. I'll be taking my L. All right. Yeah, have a good night. Good luck in Week 6.